Today I'm going to talk about something I like to call pre-planning. First, I'm going to show you what it is. So here's my image, almost raw, did a little bit in Lightroom, and this is my pre-planning. I'm sure Picasso, would be proud, but let me get that out of your face because it's just kind of confusing to look at all that when you don't really know what you're looking at. So, at first glance, it probably just looked like a bunch of lines, right? But hear me out because there's a method to the madness. Pre-planning is exactly what it sounds like. Writing down what you want to do before you do it. Your pre-planning can be as complicated as you want it to be. Personally, I keep it on one, maybe 2 layers. I don't go super in depth like I used to. For me, I've done this so many times, right, that I can actually visualize my pre-planning without actually having to draw it up anymore. When I first started doing this, it really helped me out because there's just so much to do. If you're editing or retouching for more than 30 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe you forget something and you don't have to worry about that. So I've said enough. Let's just do this. So I'm just gonna delete my old pre-planning right here because we don't need that anymore. We're gonna just do it. So let me just make a new layer. I'm just gonna break it down. So the first thing we want to do is get our brush, just press B, and we're gonna go into any corner, doesn't matter. This is just a layer that you can turn on and off, and we're gonna be using this, or you would use this when you're going to work on an image for an extensive amount of time. So if you think you're gonna spend more than 5 or 10 minutes, definitely try this out. So let's just go right up here. Okay, and I'm going to put some white here. We're gonna put some black here, and let's just get a red. Okay, and then let's switch the swatch. You can do that by pressing X, and let's just get something bright that'll just stand out. Maybe blue, right? I like blue. Okay, and this is going to serve as a palette. Now, before we start creating our work of art, you got to know the purpose of these colors before we can get, why did I put these there? What do they mean? So I'll just zoom back in, and the white means this is where you're going to dodge. The black means this is where you're going to burn. The red, that means there's some kind of error for you to fix. And then the bright color is, maybe I'll do this later, because sometimes you see something that it looks like an issue, but you're not sure if you should actually fix it, and maybe by the end of the image you feel like you don't need to fix it, or maybe even during the middle of the image you feel like you need to fix it. And what your image needs is entirely up to you and what you need to produce. So let's just back out, and now I'm just gonna draw up where I think things should go, and I'll kind of explain it. So I'm going to press D to get the white and black back on my swatches, and I like to just do all the dodging first and then all the burning. Sometimes I mix it up. It's really up to you. So let me just draw this in right here and here. We're gonna draw a triangle here, and we're starting to get that Picasso feeling going on. Gotta get it nice. I'm not gonna put one over here just because there's the hair right here. I'm gonna switch my swatch. I like to burn on the eyebrows, not a lot, just a little bit. And where I'm putting the dodging and the burning on the face, for a man and a woman, it's different because women, they have makeup, right? And they put some light and they put some dark stuff on, and that is just to really make their features pop out. So for their face, where they put the light stuff, that's where you put the dodge, and vice versa. And it just really makes it stand out. So we're gonna keep doing this. And this is not something, like, you don't have to do it everywhere you put it. That doesn't mean, this does not dictate how you dodge and burn or how you fix your image. This is just a guide for you. So you don't have to get crazy with it. You can go as extensive as you want it to be. And for this one, I think I actually will do 2 layers. And the body, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. If you see light, you're gonna put some white. If you see dark, you're gonna put some dark. Oops. There we go. There we go. Starting to get this done. Or, well, I'm starting to make some progress. There we go. Starting to make some progress. And I just do this very loosely. I'm not trying to outline all the lights, all the darks. I don't do all that. Not with my pre-planning. If you want to, you could do that. You know, it's entirely up to you. That's the best part about Photoshop. It's not really about how you do things, it's just about the end result. But I guess you could say that about photography in general, right? And I'm just going and I'm just doing all of this. Just doing all of this. And, yeah, so let's just keep doing this. And let's zoom out. So this is generally where I would dodge and burn for this particular image. Now, I do dodge and burn on the clothing too, so let me actually just go ahead and just edge that out real quick. Real quick. And you can just change the size of your brush if you need to. You don't have to use a certain size or anything like that. And for clothing, what I said about the body is how I dodge and burn for the clothing. It doesn't really matter if it's a man's shirt or a woman's dress. If I see light, I'm putting some white. If I see dark, I'm putting some dark. That doesn't really change. Not for my process. And I even do it on the hair too. Unless of course they don't have any hair, then that saves you some time, right? I guess you could, you know, you do their head, I guess. Okay, so that's most of it. And then I'll do it here. And I'll do it there. So that is basically the dodge and burn for the skin and the outfit. I even do the hair like I said, so let's just do that here. And for the hair, it's the same thing, right? If you see some light hair, you put some dodge. If you see some dark hair, you put some burn. And I mean, when you're really doing dodge and burning, you're just making everything stand out and pop way more. So if I put some burn right here and then I dodged around it, it's gonna pop even harder than just putting some dodge or only some burn. It gives it kind of like that 3D effect where it just sticks out way more. And now you want to do that to the whole image, or at least to your subject. You want it to be consistent. So that's why I am going ahead and just doing the whole thing. And this is not going to be the guidelines. I don't have to do it exactly where you see it. That's the part, that's what this is about. It's just about going in and figuring out what you want to do before you do it. And if you don't want to do that, I mean, who's going to tell you to do that? Your pre-planning? Photoshop? Your mom? No, but yeah, so we're just going in and we're just doing that. Okay. And I only really keep it on my subject as far as dodging and burning. So let's go ahead and let's find some errors. And sometimes if I can't see, I'll turn down the opacity, or I'll just turn off my pre-planning. And actually, let's go ahead and name that pre-planning. Okay. And I feel like there's some errors here. For me, personally, I feel like this area, let me zoom in. Okay, there we go. I feel like this area is a little bright, so I'm just going to, and I'll actually go ahead and make a new layer for my pre-planning. We'll call this pre-planning 2. Okay, well, where's the 2? There's the 2. So I feel like this area is a little bright and the highlight is a little much right here. So I'm just gonna put it all in red. And I also feel like there's another problem too. So let's just say too bright. And I'm using a pen and tablet, and I don't have the niece handwriting either. So you're gonna have to look at this. I also feel like, you know, it's really yellow. So I'll just put CC, or actually let's say too yellow, too bright, too yellow. Okay, so that's one of the things I think is an error. I think that, you know, maybe this leaf could go, and maybe the stick could go. I'm just gonna put an X on it. So to me, that tells me get rid of that. I also feel like this stick could probably go, and again, this is all gonna be up to you. So if this was your image, maybe you feel like those sticks down there add, or maybe it's just not a big deal. So you don't have to do what I'm doing. This is just what I feel like my images need. I feel like here and maybe here the colors are off, so I'm just gonna put adjust. I'm gonna say fix color. So to me that's telling me I need to come back and do something with the color. Right now I don't actually know what I want to do with the color, so I'm just gonna leave it vague for myself to figure out later on. So I mean, when I start editing on my image, when I start retouching my image, I can just turn that off because it's, you know, in my way. And then when I feel like, what was I gonna do? That's what I was gonna do, guys. So it's right there. I feel like I could probably, maybe I could get rid of this leaf, or this blade of grass. Maybe this. I feel like these leaves right here are kind of a problem, and some of these things are things that you could actually fix in camera. You don't have to do everything back at home. If you spend just a minute looking at your image before you shoot it, you could save yourself a lot of time when you're going home and doing all this post-processing. Maybe I have to work on 30 images, and I have to remove this leaf, or this bit of leaves from 30 images. That's gonna get annoying really quickly. So, you know, keep those kind of things in mind. Always be peeping your own shots in the field. So what else do I think is a problem here? I think that this writing on the tree, I think that adds no value. So I'm just gonna put an X here and an X here. You know, I think it kind of distracts from my model here. So let's just put an X here, and maybe I'll just circle some. And for me, the circle, it's all about the color that I use. So it's red, that means it has to go. It doesn't really matter if I put an X or a circle or a triangle. And I mean, this was done in a little park, so of course, you know, people are gonna put all kinds of stuff on the tree. So there we go. And maybe I'll leave some of these like scratches in the tree just to show that it has some age. And I think, well, let's just say brighten this right here, right? Oops, let me undo that. And then let's say brighten. So I'll just write it down with my cringy handwriting. And no one else is gonna see this. Well, for you guys, you're all gonna see my pre-planning, but when you do it, no one else is really gonna see it. So if no one else can read it, all that really matters is that you can read it. And let's say, let's just say touch hair, or let's say stray hair. And for me, this is saying I need to get rid of some of this stray hair in here, right? I need to get rid of some of this. Not all of it. I like the look, but just some of it. Like, you know, over here, maybe over here. I feel like for me, I should get rid of that. So I'm just gonna write stray hair, and that's telling me that I need to touch that up. And let's see, what else is there to do here? I think that's probably pretty good. Let's see if we can find anything. Oh, like this little leaf photobombing right here. You know, you gotta go, dude. What else is going on? Not too much. And then there's obviously some blemishes, so I'll put a P. No. Blemish, B, duh. Wait, let me make it look like a B, not a D. There you go. Actually, it looks like a heart, doesn't it? Only I could write. We'll pretend like that's a B, no matter how you slice it. So that just tells me blemishes, like I need to get that, and I actually see some stray hair up here. If you zoom up in your shot, you will see more, like the more you zoom, the more errors you're gonna see. Or the things that you don't like are gonna be more prominent. So I didn't see that when all the way out. When I zoomed in, I see it. So that tells me I need to get up there. And then it really depends on how much you want to do. Because I could keep marking this up. I could go for hours on end. Not really. I could go a little bit longer though. I could do a little bit more. So I'll just say, and let me just do a little bit more. Let's say I want to make this area, oops. I just want to make this area look a little bit more flush. I just want this to look a little bit better. I'm just going to circle that, and let's just say this area right here. Okay, and these are the errors that these are the things I feel like are an error. Ooh, let me get rid of that. I feel like these are an error, so they need to be fixed. Now let's go up into here, and what are some things that I feel like could maybe be adjusted, but I'm not sure about it. We will say, I feel like maybe this area right here could be adjusted. And let's say, we'll just put EXP for exposure. I feel like it's kind of bright, and it doesn't need to be as bright. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm just going to put that there. So let's just see. I'm going to put the pre-planning in a group. And then let's turn that on. This is what I feel like should be done to my image. It's going to depend entirely on your workflow and your processes to figure out what you should do to yours. But if you're spending more than 5 or 10 minutes, say 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, God forbid, 5 hours, something like this can really help your workflow stay on track, and it can help you remember what you wanted to do. If you start working on your image at 5 o'clock and then maybe it's 6 o'clock and you're like, is this it? You know, is this everything? You could just turn on your pre-planning and figure out if that's everything you really wanted to do. So I hope that you can start using pre-planning to your advantage, and maybe this will make your workflow a little bit better.